There's nothing quite like the excitement of moving into a new place. Right up until you go to wash your hands and realize the faucets are completely dry. Setting up essential utilities like water service is usually one of those administrative tasks that gets shoved to the bottom of the to-do list. But getting it right is absolutely vital for a smooth transition. So, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to make sure that setting up your water service in Virginia Beach isn't a headache. With the right guide, it's actually incredibly straightforward. So, if you've just moved to Virginia Beach, or maybe you're setting up utilities for the very first time, I totally get the stress you might be under right now. Between unpacking a million boxes, forwarding your mail, and figuring out your new commute, wrestling with municipal bureaucracy is literally the last thing you want to do. But stick with me here, because in this explainer, I'm going to give you a clear, practical solution to get your essential home functions running seamlessly from day one. Whether you're a complete beginner or just need a quick refresher, this is your ultimate guide. All right, let's take a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll start with a welcome to VB Water. Then we'll break down how to understand your local utility providers, move right into starting your actual water service, go over some essential billing and pro tips, look at maintaining your service, and then we'll wrap it all up with a summary and an important legal disclaimer. Okay, let's dive right into Section 1, Welcome to VB Water. This is all about that essential utility setup for a seamless move. Now, why does this matter so much? Well, getting your water service right on the first try is an absolute lifesaver. It saves you precious hours waiting on hold, helps you dodge unnecessary bureaucratic headaches, and ensures that the water is actually flowing the moment you walk through your new front door. Imagine trying to scrub down your new kitchen or take a much-needed shower after a brutal moving day, only to realize you filled out the wrong form? No way. We're here to make sure that never happens to you. Moving right along to Section 2, Understanding Local Utility Providers. We're going to navigate the dual agency system. So if you're new to the Hampton Roads area, the dual agency system might seem a little confusing at first when you see two completely different utility names floating around. Here's the breakdown. The Virginia Beach Department of Public Utilities, or VBDPU, is the agency that provides your potable drinking water, manages your stormwater drainage, and handles your solid waste, so your trash collection. However, the Hampton Roads Sanitation District, known as HRSD, is an independent regional body that handles the wastewater and sewage treatment side of things. Simply put, your clean water comes from the city, but your wastewater goes to HRSD. Before we actually turn the water on, let's quickly chat about how you'll be charged so you can accurately budget for these new household expenses. In Virginia Beach, customers are typically billed every 28 to 32 days. Now, your actual water usage varies, right? That's based on a physical meter reading taken on your billing day. But services like stormwater, trash collection, and your sanitary sewer are charged as fixed daily rates. Knowing this right out of the gate is a total game changer for predicting your monthly utility cost. All right, here we go. Section 3, Starting Your Water Service. We've got step-by-step guides here for renters, buyers, and builders. If you're moving into a place that already exists, a standard house or an apartment, the setup is remarkably simple. Step 1, just gather your documents. You'll need a government-issued ID and a valid lease if you're renting, or a proof of ownership if you bought the place. Step 2, you can submit your request via their super convenient online portal. Or, if you'd rather talk to a real human, just call their main customer service line at 757-385-4631. Step 3, just give them roughly 2 business days to initiate the service. One quick heads up though, they do not offer same-day service, so definitely make sure you knock this out a few days before your actual move-in date. Actually, let's pivot for a second. If you're a property developer, a builder, or maybe you're converting a property from a private well over to city water, this is a totally different ballgame, and it requires a lot more than just a quick phone call. For this, you're going to need an approved site plan, an official address from the planning department, specific calculated forms like the AWA calculation form, and you actually have to make an in-person appointment at the Utility Connections office at 2403 Courthouse Drive with a check in hand. For these brand new connections, there's a very strict municipal code sequence you've got to follow. Step 1 is settling those connection fees and pulling a plumbing permit. Step 2 requires scheduling a physical lock removal with DPU so the water can actually flow into the new pipes. But here is the critical warning for Step 3. You absolutely must complete a backflow cross-connection safety inspection within 48 hours of that water being turned on. Seriously, if you fail to do this, the city will come right back out and lock your meter again. Finally, Step 4 is just closing out your final plumbing permit. Okay, moving on to Section 4, Billing and Pro Tips. These are the financial gotchas and exactly how you can avoid them. So, a really crucial number you need to remember here is 1.5. Under Virginia law, utility providers are allowed to charge a 1.5% late fee every single month for bills that aren't paid on time. Specifically, your payment has to be received within 20 days from the mailing or delivery date of your bill. Miss that 20-day window, and boom, that 1.5% penalty gets tacked right onto your next statement. And here's another quick number to keep in mind: 6. If you pay by check and that check happens to bounce or gets lawfully dishonored by your bank, the utility is going to hit you with a maximum service charge of $6. It's a small fee, sure, but a really annoying one that is easily avoided just by making sure your accounts are properly funded. Now, I absolutely love this next part. Here's a fantastic insider tip derived directly from Virginia state law. Sometimes utilities require a security deposit to start service, which, let's be honest, can be a tough financial hurdle when you're already dropping money on a big move. But if your required residential deposit is over $40, you have the legal right to request to pay it off in 3 consecutive equal monthly installments. This is just a great way to dodge the upfront financial hardship of large security deposits. Let's actually map this out on a chronological timeline so you get a complete view of your rights as a consumer. On day 1, your bill is delivered. By day 20, you've got to pay it to avoid that 1.5% late charge. Notice day 90. If the city is holding a security deposit from you past 90 days, it actually starts earning interest that belongs to you. Fast forward to year 1, and your residential deposit should be refunded to you entirely, assuming you've established satisfactory credit by paying on time. And by year 2, you're actually entitled to 1 free meter test every 24 months, just in case you ever suspect your bill might be a bit off. Let's rapid fire some billing best practices to just automate your life. First, go ahead and register on their payment portal, which runs on a system called Invoice Cloud, so you get 24/7 access to your account. Second, if you opt for paperless billing, be sure to add no reply at invoicecloud.net to your email safe sender list so your bill doesn't get lost in spam. Third, just enroll in autopay. It's literally the easiest way to guarantee you never see a late fee. And finally, keep an eye out for the digital pipeline newsletter linked in your billing emails so you can stay in the loop on local water news. Section 5. Maintaining your water service. We're looking at resources for quality, safety, and support. The city actually has 2 very distinct contact paths, and calling the wrong one is just going to lead to frustration. For any routine inquiries, like you have a question about your bill, you need to report a water leak, or just general service questions, you'll want to call 757-385-4631, or simply hop online and use the 311 agent chat. But if you're a builder, or you're handling a brand new property tie-in, you must use the dedicated new utility connections line at 757-385-4636. They are entirely separate offices. Okay, before we start wrapping things up, I just had to inject this quick fun fact. Have you ever actually wondered where your Virginia Beach water comes from? It makes quite a journey. It's sourced from Lake Gaston in Brunswick County, pumped a staggering 76 miles through a massive pipeline to Lake Prince, and is finally treated and purified at the Moores Bridges treatment plant over in neighboring Norfolk before it ever makes it to your tap. Honestly, it's just an incredible feat of regional engineering. And that brings us to Section 6, Summary and Important Disclaimer. Let's wrap up your Virginia Beach water setup. So what are the big key takeaways here? Let's recap. Remember that dual system, VB DPU, provides your drinking water, while HRSD is going to bill you separately for your wastewater. If you're moving into an existing home, standard residential setup is incredibly easy and can be done entirely online. Just remember to give them 2 business days notice. If you're dealing with new construction, be ready for specific plumbing permits and that highly critical 48-hour backflow inspection. And finally, protect your wallet. Utilize autopay to dodge late charges, and remember you can request installment plans for those large security deposits. And as promised, here is our required legal disclaimer. Please keep in mind that the information presented in this explainer is intended for general guidance based on current municipal sources. Because local codes, fees, and policies can always change, you should always contact the local water service provider, the Virginia Beach Department of Public Utilities, directly for the most current and specific details regarding your unique situation. Setting up utilities really doesn't have to be this dreadful chore when you understand the mechanics behind the scenes. You now have the exact blueprint to bypass the headaches, avoid those annoying fees, and get everything running smoothly from day one. So, now that you know the rules of the pipeline, how quickly will you get your utilities flowing? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today. Go get that online form filled out and enjoy your new home.